Right, hello, hello, welcome everyone, yet again, last day of the little course that I did for v42. There will be future lessons, of course, specifically on things in v42, such as lane matchups and roles, etc. I'd like to continue focusing on the deck building just for today, because I feel it's a very important aspect, of course, of how the game changed. We covered a hell of a lot yesterday, most of what I actually wanted to cover in this lesson as well, so it's going to be mostly homework reviews here, and then a little bit on curse cards and stuff. So it's going to be a little shorter today, basically. So I'm going to bring up the screen here. That's that. So as per usual for everyone in Discord, you may want to watch the stream. You don't need to for the start because we're going to be looking at homework. I'm going to be asking you to post in the lesson channel, watch down the list top to bottom. The hands up channel, as always, if you need to ask a question or if you want to answer one, you can put your hand up in there using the raised hand emoji. But yeah, I guess we'll just go straight on to homework. So Dark Lord, as you're at the top, and as you seem very ready, you can share your deck that you made, and we'll go over it. So I'll post it in the lesson channel when you're ready. I'll have to show it on stream too, so I'll have to open it on stream. Oh, there we go, thank you. Okay, that's interesting. What on earth do I open this with, apparently? Hey, let's open it with paint. There you go. At least I can see it. Well, hopefully everyone can look at that now that it's in there. So Wukong, so it's for Wukong. Okay. Right, run us through it. What's the process? Yeah, I can see what it's meant to do basically just from the first few cards. No worries, Dark Lord. No, sir. He's typing. We'll be able to hear people in other ones, I presume. Thank you, Z. Okay, so he says the aim is one of two things, mainly split fight, pushing or more of a fighter style. Of course, you can mix and match cards to suit your needs, but that's mainly the two boss point game situations. Okay, so of course, Emmerich is going to be split pushy. Battle Shepherd is very split pushy. Flame of Zekin is broken, so you have that for your objective control. Shadow Dancer again is pretty good for split pushing. Trapper, Wound Seeker, I guess, going more towards the fighter team fighting. With Apex Predator. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll quickly make this in-game, because that's a very good way to do that. Boop, 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 boop. It should only take a second. So we are looking for Apex. We are looking for Awaken. We are looking for a Battle Shepherd. Coin Master. Cull. XO, Flame, Highwayman, Shadow Dancer, and Wind. Cool. We'll quickly pop the gems in. Oh, wait, is there only 11 cards, or did I miss one? Feels like that's only 11 cards. Experienced healing towers, damage reduction, piercing basic, bounty stalker, auto health potion. Okay. Should the effects select from clones since it should be fully tested myself, only 11. No, so basically Apex Predator does have an internal cooldown, I think. I can't remember what it was though, but I'm pretty sure it does have one. But you meant to just poke the laner in lane is the general idea. Otherwise it would build up way too strong, basically. yeah, caps at 50, and then at max you get your 18 ability armor. I wouldn't say it's really a Wukong card. So if we go through the processes that we went through before, basically, you've got too many early game cards because you essentially have 5, including Forsaker and Highwayman. So all of these are unnecessary. I'd probably take out Highwayman, for example. And then if we're going for more of an off-laney build, you wouldn't need Flame per se. Since we got Healing Towers, I presume it's more off-laney. But I'd get rid of Coin Master because I don't think that card's too good in off-lane. You want to actually be doing stuff, so Cold the Weaken Exoskeleton would be much more beneficial along with Flame. So that would give you your 3 early game cards again. If we're looking at the final build, you could end up with what? Trapper, Battle Shepherd, Awaken, or Woundseeker. We're not really going towards the end game agility, so if you wanted a more team fight aspect to it, you'd probably want to put one of the tribe in. Would be really good. You've got what, 18 and 7, so you've still got another 7 to work with. That's where Woundseeker could probably come in, so you could have those 3 in your final build, or you could pop in Emmerich instead. But if you're going for more of the split push, you could go for Emmerich, Battle Shepherd, and then probably one heavy power card would be pretty much ideal. It's the issue of growth though. Small grouping late game. I guess you might want to still just go Trapper, because there's not very many other options. I mean, you could go Shadow Dancer, Emmerich, and a Battle Shepherd, but then you will lack damage on actually taking the structures. Okay. How much are you dipping into intellect here? 5. Actually 11 into intellect. Yeah, Swamp Stalker is a good call. Crazy. So we'll quickly pop that in, because that's a good curve card anyway. But yeah, we are going to need more curve cards. So we're starting off with Agility and Vitality. We're definitely going to want Guard Piercer pretty much 100% in there, and that's going to be our 12. The interesting thing is that you're dipping into Intellect for Apex. Which you could curve into Emmerich, like get Emmerich late game and sell the Apex. Would be a good shout. But then with the gems to complement this, we've sort of got our late game build there in the idea, and we've got 2 situations. So we've got situational cards, we've got our early game, we've got our curve now. So we've refined that a little bit more. The issue here is you're dipping a lot into each thingy, so you need 25 agility to get all your gems here, then 7 here and 7 here. That's going to be, what, 39 attribute points until you actually get it, and it's not really fitting into the final build per se. The final build, you're going to have, what, 18 here, so you're going to have pretty much 24 agility if you're going for the team fight build. Otherwise you are going into 6, but yeah, you are dipping into all of them, is the issue. Marcel, if you got noise in the background, what are you doing? Right, I'm going to mute him. But yes, you're sort of dipping into all of them, but it depends on the different situations is the issue. So you probably want to go for like the agility one, because most of them you're going to go up to at least 19 agility, in most cases. But you sort of still want to spec more towards the one and have the other thing as a situational. So you should bring your gems more towards your primary build rather than have them fit into the situational. So you'd probably take out the experience gem in this case, and you could probably put in the lifesteal gem, which suits both purposes, because you can then get a better team fight and better split push sustain through the lifesteal gem. Healing Towers is good. You could probably take out damage reduction. I think Ruthless would probably be better here, or fast travel. Both would suit your needs better. Fast travel would be better for the split pushing, Ruthless better for the team fighting. If we assume you're just going for the split push, we'd probably go fast travel. Yeah, and then we can pop in a proper piercing basic here. And a proper bounty stalker's a bit meh. You could probably go Relentless Pursuit, I think would be better. Relentless Pursuit is pretty strong. Or Critical Strikes, because you're not actually dipping into Chaos, so crits could be really strong actually here. So you could probably go Critical Hits. And that would make a much more refined split push Wukong deck then, basically. So we've basically taken the concept. What we've done is just literally swapped out a few of the cards just to make the curve a bit better, using things like Guard Piercer and Swamp Stalker. The endgame build's got better options with one of the tribe for your actual team fighting. But otherwise, yeah, the concept is there. And then we change the gems around to max agility, because the idea is that we always want to try and keep our gems within the consensus of the final build, not just the final build plus the situational cards, because then you're sort of dipping into too much areas. Yeah, not too bad. Cool. We will quickly delete that, so we have more deck space. Right. who is next? Crazy, we did miss you. Did you do yours? Because you're just above Dark Lord. We are working our way down the list. You can speak if you want to. You don't have to type. You'll wait since you were late. Okay. Dirt of Dead. Have you done yours?
Yeah, here.
Nice. I like it.
How do I add... Forget. How do I add an upload file?
You should be able to copy and paste basically into the lesson chat.
Oh, there it is. There we go.
Nice, right, so what I'll do is I'll go open original, which will open on here, and I can bring it to the main screen. Okay, that is so zoomed in. Okay, Richter / Steel support. So we're going for a support deck for Richter or Steel, or the Chaos, which I quite like.
It's more of an aggressive playstyle since Richter, you want to get pulls, be aggressive. Steel doesn't have a whole lot to really... I haven't used this for Steel yet. I've been playing with Richter with it. And it's just more of like an early game aggressive until everybody starts getting really strong, and then you start playing a bit more passive.
Okay. So you're going to be dipping into agility a little bit, maybe ending up with about 7 at the end. Which is interesting. So there are things we can work with this. So I'm going to, again, quickly hop into Paragon. And we will go for Chaos Order, and let's quickly build this thing. So, Armored Footman. Oh my god, there's a lot of things with armored in them apparently. There we go. Blitz Rush. Demo. Lamplighter. Malanx Grace, and I presume Malanx Prayer as well, yep. Outlander Scout. Protective Sentry. Do like this though, this is differing a little bit from the standard support, I do like it. Song of the Sentinel. Foreign Diawi, or Yomi, because I always call it Yomi. Vanguard Captain, and then the gems, you're going Auto Mana Potion, Experienced, Mana Fountain, Vitality, you're going Quick Exit, good, Armored, good, and here you're going Auto Health Potion, okay. So, sort of just recreated the deck a bit there, in that form. So, my opinion, the Blitz Rush is okay, it's probably going to be a bit more towards a mid-game card.
Yeah, I was trying to bring back the whole Blinkter, but still keep the Order Chaos affinities. Yeah.
Yeah, the issue is it's here it kills that reset the cooldown, but then again, I guess only a 60-second cooldown, which isn't too bad. I think Demolitionist might be slightly out of place. I could probably find something to replace that. Everything else seems pretty...
Yeah, actually that's supposed to be Living Guardian. I think that's selected wrong on my Smurf.
Well, I mean, if you're looking for a more aggressive style, you could go Poised Aggressor. Poised Aggressor works really well on Richter, because if you land the hook and then you just get several free autos off, especially if the auto reset of the Q that applies your basic damage, you're going to get an extra, what, 60-75 damage in there. Richter, in fact, with increased attack speed, probably going to get almost 100 in, which is probably better than Living Guardian, because Living Guardian, you're not going to be hitting people all the time, basically, as Richter. So that'll give you a couple early game 2 vision options. You can curve into these two. You can get that mid game. Protective Sentry can be up as early as you want. These two can be your late game options as usual. Song of the Sentinel. Yeah. Just wondering, you could probably skip Vanguard Captain in this case if you're being more aggro, because you'll have the Radiant Healer anyway, and what you can actually do is put in Red Zone for late game, like extreme late game. Because it's not a bad card on Richter is the thing, especially if you're going to be running something like, you could do Blitz Rush, Protective Sentry, and Red Zone late game. If you're going, you just got Orb Prime, for example, you want to be more aggressive, then you can Tower Dive with it. Because remember, they can't hurt you if they're CC'd. Richter's a CC machine. He's also the tankiest hero in the game, so Red Zone actually works really well on him. Out of anyone, could be a really nice option if you're looking for an aggressive support. Then the only other suggestion is, because it is Richter, you'd probably be getting the Forsaker up earlier rather than later, and you're not going to be dipping that heavily into intellect. You're probably going to be going up to the 7 mark and not too much higher. You could probably skip out on the mana fountain, and I'm thinking agility. You could actually invest up to 7 in that, predominantly with Blitz Rush and Forsaker getting up to 4, and getting fast travel, yeah, which benefits Richter a lot, especially if you're going to be aggressive. It's going to be really nice. And then you've got what, sort of 2 out of combat things that are really strong. You sort of got like, you're dipping into everything so you can get cards more so, but you're not really going heavy into the gems in any particular thing, but you're still going up to what, 14, 21 curve, which is about right for a support. 21 attribute points for your final build. That still sort of fits within the consensus of what you're trying to go for, is the idea. Because supporters always have a wonky curve because you get such little attributes that you always have to work with early gems.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do like that. I do like that. The only issue you'll have here is a lack of gold gain and XP gain because you're not going growth or knowledge. So you will have to get kills with this style, is the idea. Heck, even take them where you can. It's not even the worst idea because you want to get ahead basically. Because the support being ahead is never a bad thing anyway.
Especially somebody like Richter.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting that nice damage curve.
Yep. I like it, I like it. Cool. Right. Did that deck not make it, or did that just mess up? Is it somewhere else? Yeah, new deck, there we go. There's always new decks just appearing out of nowhere. Okay, right. Who's next? DJ Sonic 20. Do you have a deck to present to us? Coolio, and go ahead. Cool, so for Bellica... Okay, I see. Knock up into trap combo. I'm not too sure about Black Ice Routine Cryo, maybe. Let's see. Let's make a new deck. Let's go for Knowledge Chaos. Let's go for Advanced Evolution, Astral Leap, Atomic Soldier. We have a Static Trap, Black Ice Routine, Cryo Agent, Font of Experience, Glycerin Dawn, Mana Flow Acolyte, Riot Sapper. Sleeper Agent is a good one. Formatage. And then gems, we're looking for Armored. Oh, you're actually running Onslaught, interesting. Oh, you're running Experienced, okay. Mana Fountain. Ruthless Spells, Overpowered Spells. Right, do you want to give us a quick rundown of the deck? If you can type if you want. Just gonna pop that there. Aggression, roaming. Okay. Onslaught is an interesting one. Oops, it felt like I need to go find it again now. Yeah, there it is. I would probably take Auto Shield early anyway. I think Auto Shield's much stronger than Onslaught. Onslaught's more for heroes that have a really long cooldown ult, for example Aurora or Steel, who want to build it back up out of combat basically. And then don't need any durability like Auto Shield because they're building tanky anyway. Auto Shield really benefits squishy heroes, especially with early aggression. So I think you should go for that. Experienced you can go for, but if you're running Formatage in your final build, you'll probably find Deadly Mana will be more useful. If you're running Bellica, you know, you don't usually have to worry about Bellica because you shouldn't be mirror picking. So you shouldn't worry too much about your mana pool, so Deadly Mana should benefit you a lot, especially in combination with Mana Fountain. So I would usually switch those two early gems. The Armored Gem does work really well within the curve. Static Trap can be a nice utility card. The issue is you've got to go free agility, which makes it more of a, you know, late gamey thing. It kind of fits off of curve there. I think you'd be better off going Soldier of Fortune basically. Namely for the XP gain, combined with Font of Experience with the gold. You're going to get very far ahead, basically, running those 2 cards, and Glycerin Dawn can be sort of your solo early card. Like, as soon as you've scaled enough for Soldier and Font, or you don't even have to sell Font, unless you want to keep Mana Flow Acolyte, you can sell Font, get Mana Flow Acolyte, and then you can actually run the Blink and Glycerin, all on your 13 spike with Mana Fountain, basically, before you start curving into your endgame build with the standard Atomic Sleeper Thaumaturge. Black Ice Routine doesn't see too much use in this, I feel. I don't see where you'd buy it. You probably just want to go Power Tap instead. And then you can just Power Tap once you're level 20 at the end and max Intellect. You can probably just Power Tap instead. So you're going a bit more towards the standard caster here. You could try and fit in Tireless Reaper, to be honest, if you didn't want to go Font. If you wanted more aggression, you could swap out Font for Tireless. Someone with Tireless Reaper, for example, can abuse someone with Font, or someone with Exoskeleton can abuse someone with Font. Font's a very abusable card. If you are not able to play passive, because, you know, they just out-aggression you. So in general, you want to be the more aggressive person with this kind of deck, so having Tireless Reaper would be good with Advanced Evolution. You'd be able to be very aggressive with that, scale into Mana Flow really nicely then. Then you wouldn't have to say your Font so early as well, if you want to go for the Soldier curve into the Astro and Glycerin. So you'd probably end up with something looking a bit more like this, which means you're only using, what, 3 Chaos cards. You still have Riot Sapper there. Riot Sapper, I guess, can be okay for mid-game, but again, you're having to invest into Vitality. We've actually got Cryo Agent in there, which I don't know how you'd ever curve into. The issue is you never really want to go Agility into someone like Bellica. But you've got your early curve, that's a good mid. You've got lots of good curve cards, so Cryo's sort of a dead one. The one I'd consider is either Stasis for extreme late game if you need the effect, or Accelerator. That's more of a personal preference. Accelerator will make it so you don't fall off too hard once you hit 25 intellect. Stasis Rune will just give you another option, so I'd probably go up on Stasis Rune. So yeah, that's probably what I'd go for, basically, in terms of that Bellica deck, if that makes sense. It just means you're not dipping into the agility too hard, especially if you're looking for a more aggressive roaming Bellica deck. You want to just really go for that intellect, and then only at the end start to consider things that, you know, cost vitality, basically. Yeah, I know TV Smith and stuff. It's not intended, it'll be fixed, but in relevance, you know, Power Tap should be used. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense for that one. Cool. Gorakasil up next. Nice. Righty. A Rampage Jungle. Okay, similar to my Knowledge Death Rampage, but with growth instead for the curve, which is plenty good. If anything, could be potentially better. I do like the look of this deck, actually. This one is looking very fine. So we're going for Death Growth. We are going for Awaken, which I like. You should always have Awaken if you're going for these endgame cards. Cull. I'm interested using Cull early. We might look into that one. Finder. Flame. Plague. Sorvuk. Tyrant. You are going Unbroken Spirit as well. Vengeful Maya is not a bad one at all. Vital Waters and Withering. Oh. Withering. And then Gems, Jungle Assassin. Vitality, you're going for damage reduction. Damage return. Improved health regen and ferocity. Ferocity is an interesting one. We might look into that. Let's do that. And then auto shield, which I like. Okay. So I can see a few things we might have to review in this, but do you want to give me a little breakdown of it, or shall I just go over it?
I don't care. Feel free to just go over it. I mean, should be fairly straightforward. Got the weak Coin Master, Famous Decking.
Yep.
Swap Call the Weak and Coinmaster for Tyrant. Add Greenspring, swap it later for Vital Waters. Add Unbroken Spirit, swap Vital Waters for Sovok Initiate, and then ultra late game swap for both auras. A few situational cards like Final of Play Things, Awaken the Emmerich, and Vengeful Mire, depending on situation.
Yeah, I like it. Vengeful Spirit is also, Myra is a good curve card into Plague Lord Malink as well, seeing as they use very similar stats, but Vengeful Mire is cheaper and basically it's just a weaker form of it, so I do like that as a curve into it as well as a situational.
I was considering Reflexive Purify instead of Ferocity, but I wasn't too sure.
I would actually use Consume the Dead, so the one concern with this
really?
would actually be Consume the Dead is because you're going to be using a lot of HB while in your ult by your mind, but you're going to be using Sovok and Withering Death at the same time. It's still going to hurt you a lot, and even if your ult runs out and stuff, you're going to need a source of regen after you've killed the person when you've used the death card, so I find Consume synergizes a bit better.
Even in the case that I only have health regen, Consume the Dead?
Yeah.
As a gem? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the stats, like, you know, it's more about the effect than the stat on the gem at this point. If you can have the stat as well, that's the nice bit. Improved health regen, damage reduction, damage return are all nice. Auto shield is nice, Jungle Assassin is nice, so I like the gems. You could also consider not going Consume the Dead at all and going into another intellect gem for 7 or 13, because you do go quite heavy into intellect.
Which one?
A bit later on, so you could probably consider either Deadly Mana is not a bad one for Rampage, I wouldn't go Experienced. You could consider Mana Fountain, I wouldn't go Spellburn. And I don't think you're going as far as Spell Shield. For my one, I go greedy and I actually go Amplify Aura, which is super late game. But you could consider some other things. You could also do reactive spells almost, it's not actually a bad one.
I have no gems for Deadly Mana and Amplify Aura.
Oh, fair enough. We're just going to keep Consume the Dead then, because it is plenty good. As for the actual cards, I think for early game, I think Coinmaster's too greedy in my opinion. Like, you don't actually get much gold out of it, especially in jungle where you're always in combat. You're getting, what, 8 every 10 seconds, it's going to be 60 seconds, so that's 6 times 8 for a minute, which is, what, 48 gold. You get 48 gold every minute, you're going to keep it for a few minutes, you might get about almost 150 gold, but with Exoskeleton, you're going to be able to fight people easier, you're going to be able to just, you know, gank easier, invade easier, makes your early game a lot stronger, especially when you combine it with your Ease health regen, which you should max second before leap as well. Yeah. In my opinion, almost first sometimes. I think that's Exoskeleton's going to be a bit better than Coinmaster. I think Coinmaster's a bit too greedy. You won't actually get much scaling out of it before you swap it into something like Tyrant, which you want to get online ASAP. Call the Weak is fine when you combine it with Jungle Assassin. Not really any other good options in this affinity, and you don't really need Mother Tree on Rampage. You could consider that though, you could swap Call the Weak for Mother Tree if you want to start Exoskeleton first back Mother Tree. That would be something I'd consider, because like you don't need to necessarily start the Jungle Assassin gem first. You could start 1 Vitality, get your Exoskeleton, go out there, do the first couple camps and hit level 2, sorry, and then you get your 1000 gold rather just as you do green. Then you can pick up your Jungle Assassin gem and finish the clear. You'll still finish it in time. And then first back you'll have another 1000 gold. So you'll put another point of Vitality and pick up the Mother Tree basically. And if you were lucky and you had enough, you could pick up Flame of Second as well. So that'd be a really nice free card back basically. That would be rather potent, so you could consider it like that. And basically, if you have Mother Tree as Rampage, you basically just can't die in the jungle. You can 1v1 anyone, you can go invade, do what you want. Then you can curve into Tyrant, find or play things late game situational. You can curve into Vital Water very easily, Vengeful Mire if you get the auto shield early, which you should. And then yeah, you got your free cards at the end, Awaken for situational. Unbroken does feel a little empty here. You could consider going Shadow Dancer instead. Shadow Dancer curves really nicely into things like Withering Death and Sovok, so as you're curving into Withering, you can pick up Shadow, 3 points later swap it for Withering, and as you go towards Sovok, again, 4 points before, well, it's actually the way around, isn't it? It's heavy intellect. Maybe if you're going into Emmerich or something. Or you've already got Withering, but then you need the Stealth for ganks. Could be a good one, because like what you want to do is you can maybe get 6 intellect early. Did we put a 7? We didn't put 7 intellect gem then. Oh yeah, because you're not going for Deadly Mana, are you? I usually go Deadly Mana, that's why. You could also consider Onslaught on Rampage, by the way. is not always a terrible idea. I would still prefer auto shield, but Onslaught is also something you can go on him for the reduced rock cooldown in your ult. You're going to be auto attacking a lot as it is on Rampage. More rocks is always good on Rampage. But yeah, this should be plenty good. I think this could work. I'd just prefer the Shadow Dancer over Unbroken Spirit. It's rare you're going to be using Unbroken Spirit in this case. Even if you will have the free agility early. I guess, could you curve it like that? I guess
that's pretty much what I'm doing before switching into auras. Especially since I've faced a lot of hard CC, like Navish and Bellica. Before I can transition into...
Yeah.
And since I already spent 3 points on agility because of Tyrant.
Yep. Oh, I like that. That's cool. Yep, that's plenty good. I like that one. So, basically just swapping Coin Master for Exoskeleton, Cold a Week for Mother Tree, just for a slightly different early game. Apart from that, I think it's pretty much perfect. I want to Consume the Dead instead of... Yeah, the Ferocity. I mean, Frosty's not a bad one. I just prefer Consume the Dead because it synergizes a bit better with the end game build, with the sort of like Withering. Awesome sauce, thank you very much, sir. Now I need to find it and delete it. I just don't want too many decks. Cool. Who is next? Rude Boy. You here, Rude Boy? No? Okay, Janto? Janto Carl?
Okay. Lesser. What the fuck? It says it's too powerful. It's too big. 1 second. I'll make it smaller.
Interesting. This is going to be a good deck then, I hope.
Can I just copy this over and paste it in? Let's try again.
High resolution deck.
Oh, feels bad. I'm going to print and screen it again.
No worries.
Yeah, it's annoying. I haven't even cropped it, so sorry.
No problem. I can always zoom in.
Yeah. Alright, should I talk through it then, or?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So this wasn't a super serious deck. Where the hell has it gone? There he is. But the idea was Richter support, but kind of a bit castery, a bit spammy, so kind of going for the Sleeper Agent end game. So the way I've actually put the build is all the curve cards like together, what's going to curve into what. So the end game build is Malink's Prayer, Black Ice Routine, and if you get like pretty late Sleeper Agent. To start off with, well, obviously Lamplighter, and then either Advanced Evolution, Font of Experience, or Armored Footman. Curve card, so Advanced Evolution goes into Astral Leap, goes into probably last card Sleeper Agent for the gag order.
Yep.
Armored Footman into Vanguard Captain, possibly into Malink's Prayer.
Yep.
Radiant Healer into Malink's Grace, into the Black Ice Routine. So the idea of this deck is to kind of synergize with a team that's got a lot of burst casters.
Yep.
So if you can maybe get the stealth buff open with the Black Ice Routine so that you slow everyone in, and then use your ult. The situational card is the Corrosive Walker, which is the 048, which kind of adjusts the endgame build slightly, but that, again, that's the ability damage with your ults. If you can pop it just before your ult, and then you get lots of AoE ults on there, then you can kind of burst people down.
Yep.
In terms of the gems and the curve, it ends up as 18, 12, so 18 intellect, 12 vitality if you include the Sleeper Agent, or 12-12, which is quite nice for 213 gems. Or if you go to Corrosive Walker, it goes 22-7. Yeah, that's pretty much it. In terms of the gems, I think that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, auto shield for the shield, quick exit because support, armor is really good for support side of combat, experience because you're a support, need to get the XP, mana fountain curves really nicely with the intellect, good on Richter because he runs out of mana all the time, and spell shield's really good for initiation late game. I'm not actually going to build this deck because I think it's actually spot on. I think this deck is pretty much follows all my principles pretty much perfectly, and this is exactly how I would build an intellect order Richter support. The early game curve is pretty much how I would do it.
Problem is he's just a bit squishy compared to a...
That's what the Armoured Footman's there for, but again, if you're going for the more knowledgey sort of, you know, initiation Richter, the Sleeper Agent, Black Ice Ratoon and stuff, you're not going to be that squishy because he's really naturally tanky. You're still getting 7 points on Vitality early, you still got the Armoured Shield, Black Ice Ratoon can give you HP, you got the Shield Link, you can have the Malik's Prayer, there's loads of options to be more tanky as you initiate, but I really like it. I think it fits just about on point.
Cool.
For a Richter support. This is how I would build it basically if I was going Richter support. The Chaos option is also a nice aggressive one that you can go. You can even go Glistering Dawn in that one actually. Growth you can go for the more gold game. I thought
about death for the Shadow Dancer, but that's pretty much all. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can catch someone just as off guard with the blink, and then knowledge is going to give you way more options late game, plus you get access to Font of Experience, which is a very core support card if you're going knowledge. It's very, very important. It's very good for someone like Richter. You can get the levels while roaming. Yeah, indeed, I do like that deck a lot. That is very nice, fantastic. If I play Richter support, I may have to steal that, because that is exactly what I would have built. Like it. Hold on. Jimmy the Hat. Are you there, Jimmy the Hat? No? Molosel? No? No Morosel? A Morgana? The M's are letting me down here.
He was there.
Oh, is Morosel there? Oh, I'm muted. My bad.
Damn,
there you go, that's because you had background noise.
Okay. Yeah, I'm uploading the deck now.
Well,
so me it's not a competitive deck or anything, but it's like an early aggression mid deck with growth and order.
Mm-hmm.
For somebody maybe like Gadget, it's uploading.
Okie dokie.
A second. I might retry it here.
We will be playing games today on stream, guys. It's just going to be later on, after the lesson, whenever we end. Maybe at normal time at this rate. Lots of people have done their homework, which is good.
Nothing's uploading. Maybe come back to me.
Okay, sure thing. Morgana?
Yeah, just, it's a funny one.
Mm-hmm.
I have a conventional one, too, with the knowledge and chaos.
Yep. Alright, look at this. Do you want to walk us through it?
So my end build is wood